Welcome to Boston, Ohio, now called Helltown. In the Congoa Valley in Ohio, there is an eerily deserted place known as Helltown. Unlike the ghost towns of the West, this Midwestern area is particularly unique because it doesn't look all that old. Although some buildings bear the features of early America, the rest are distinctly 20th century. The clear "No Trespassing" signs posted throughout the town are certainly modern and official. There's not a soul to be found in this place, but there's still remnants of the lives the former residents left behind, including an abandoned school bus. The town is surrounded by dangerous roads that seemingly lead to nowhere, but it is the church that seems to have inspired its ominous name. The white building in the center of Helltown is all dolled up with upside down crosses. The locals all have their theories. Some say the church was a place of worship for Satanists who populated Helltown, some of whom they think still lurk around the closed off roads, hoping to ensnare unwitting visitors. Others say the town was evacuated by the government after a toxic chemical spill that resulted in bizarre mutations in the local residents and animals, with the most deadly being the peninsula python, a snake that grew to enormous size and still slithers near the abandoned town. Even the old school bus is the center of a dark legend. Supposedly, the children it carried were slaughtered by an insane killer, or in some versions of the story, by a group of Satanists. The superstitious people claim that if you peer through the vehicle's windows, you can see either the ghost of the killer or his victim still sitting inside. Helltown, Ohio is in fact an abandoned town formerly known as Boston, whose deserted buildings provide plenty of creepy photos, or at least they did until they were all torn down in 2016. While what really happened to the town's residents is quite disturbing in its own way, most of the urban legends have rather mundane explanations. The church does, in fact, bear upside down crosses, but these are fairly common feature of a Gothic style in which it was constructed. Ghost hunters may have actually gotten a terrifying glimpse of a man or child inside the school bus. However, they were not the spirits of murder victims forever trapped in limbo, but rather a man and his family who temporarily lived there while their house was being renovated. There are still some local debate about whether the chemical spill actually happened, but the lack of hard proof regarding the python has not stopped locals from celebrating Python Day. Even Helltown's spooky name is actually not a source of the urban legends. Helltown is actually just a nickname for a part of Boston Township in Summit County, Ohio. The residents of the area were indeed forced to abandon their homes by the federal government, but not because of a chemical spill or supernatural cover up. With national concerns about deforestation in full swing in 1974, President Gerald Ford approved legislation that allowed the National Park Service to power the whole land, theoretically to preserve the forests. And that's why the government bought out everybody and sent them packing. The only residents that were not forced to move were the ones that were in the cemetery. While the idea behind the bill may have had good intention, it was bad news for the residents living in that area. The area, now dubbed as Helltown, was earmarked for the new Conga Valley National Park, and the people living there had no choice but to sell their properties to the government. One disgruntled mover wrote his own gloomy epitaph on the wall. Now we know how the Indians felt. So this town that reportedly has crybaby bridges, spooky school buses, mass human sacrifice scenes, and a mutant python is all probably just urban legend or folklore. But it's still a tragic place and super sinister ideas behind the whole thing. So this is just the place we would like to visit. This village was founded in 1806 and it is claimed to be one of the oldest villages in Summit County. The empty homes were boarded up and abandoned with U.S. no trespassing signs. The government quickly fell behind on its plans to create a park, and the village sat neglected. The remaining buildings, remnants of a vanished town, have created a fertile soil for the innumerable urban legends that have popped up over the years. The hellish aura of the area only continues to grow when the NPS acquired a dump in 1985. Rangers visiting the site became ill and covered in rashes. It was soon discovered that the dump was highly polluted with toxic chemicals improperly disposed of. The dump became a Superfund site as of 2015. The NPS is wrapping up restoration of the area. So, can we go there? Well, there are indeed a few of the places that contain many myths and scary stories, but according to Ohio's criminal law and statutes, it is not technically forbidden to visit. Helltown and Boston Township are mostly within the confines of the Conga Valley National Park in northern Ohio. This means they are free to visit. Interestingly enough, part of the reason why people abandon the place has to do with the creation of the national park, supposedly. Now, this picture here I found online. It's actually two pictures. It looks the same, but they must be one right after the other. And there are so many ghosts that I just saw in this picture that it's unbelievable. So I left it for you guys to see. I circled what I saw. There are probably way more, actually, but those were really blatant. Um, and the reason why I know this one is after it is because now you're gonna see what I circled. So the guy is facing towards the camera now. The two heads that were up on top like morphed into one. The thing with the question mark isn't there anymore, and the person who was standing against the tree moved a little. So yeah, super interesting place, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you on the next adventure. Like, subscribe, and leave me a comment.